So, hello, Alan. Thank you for meeting with me to talk about your situation. And first, I would like to find out from you what was the problem that you came to see me with.
Yeah, so when I came to see you, I asked you about my sugar issues. And it was an issue of having one was never enough, but once I started, I could not stop that train of eating. It would cause me to eat a second one, a third one, or until the whole package was over. So I know that with sugar for me, I didn't want to stop sugar because I do like sweets, but I didn't want the sweets to control me in any way, shape, or form.
Mhm. So, what was your experience during the hypnosis session?
So during the hypnosis session, I was really calm. I just forgot where I was. I allowed your voice to carry me wherever, and I don't really remember a lot of it. It was just a very relaxing experience. I think it lasted about half hour or 40 minutes or so. And yeah, you had a really soft and gentle voice, and I just kind of closed my eyes and drifted away.
Mhm. So, afterwards, what changed?
So I noticed right away that when I put something out in my mouth, I didn't want too much of it, es- especially when we're talking about sugar. So the sugar again, it was that bag of cookie where I eat one and then I eat another one, and you can never eat just two because four is better. And before I knew it, I had to eat the whole row and then the second row and so on. But I had things like I think we talked about chocolate covered almonds, and I had the bag there on the kitchen island. But the island is sort of the central station for the house. You want to go to the bedrooms, you pass the kitchen. You want to go to the basement, you pass the kitchen. So every time it was like grab one, grab two. And then I realized that after 2 or 3 days, I hadn't even touched them. So I put them below, underneath, where I believe they're still there unless someone else ate them. But um, feeling a lot better, calmer around food. Just because I see it doesn't mean I have to stick it in my mouth.
Interesting. So it seems that you have much more control over sugary things. Would you say?
That's right. You know what? And I get to choose if I want to put sugar in my mouth, what I'm going to eat. So right now, I believe I told you when I came to see you that I was eating only 3 times a day. That was my commitment, to eat only 3 times a day. You know what? I'm okay having a little bit of sugar. It's someone's birthday party. You could eat a slice or a piece of. I mean, for me, that's a really nice place to be. Just saying enough is enough. And the other thing that I was also concerned about was when there's a choice of two. So you have to eat both of them because you can't, it's impossible to decide which one's better until you eat them both. So I haven't had that opportunity to say no to the chocolate one and okay to the vanilla or the one with the cream. But I'm
So right
okay.
now you can make that choice. You can choose one and leave the other.
Yeah, just decide that I want to eat just enough. And if there's too much, like, that's it. I have to stop.
Mhm. So how is this going to change your relationship with food going forward?
So one of the things that happened is that back in January, I fell off the wagon. I was doing really well with my weight management, and every time I thought of weighing myself, I was like, oh my god, I probably gained 25 pounds. But since we did our session together, I got on the scale, and I was only off by maybe 2 pounds, 1.6 pounds.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, so all these months I was just like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And it's given me that level of confidence and self-esteem to say, you know what? So I had a bad day or a bad 3 months, but that's okay. I'm just back on. I'm eating what I'm supposed to eat. I'm in control of what I eat, when I eat, and yeah, things feel better.
Wonderful. So What would you say to someone who is struggling with the urges to eat sugar and are lacking control over sugary things or sweets or salty chips, junk food? What would you say to a person who has that problem?
So, what I would say is that weight management is a process that if you stop eating sugar and you start eating salt, there's another issue under the salt.
Mm-hmm.
So, to be kind with yourself and one day at a time, one issue at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I realized after our session, one of the things that I was working on was why did I have to say yes all the time to other people? And making my mother happy was something as a young child that, oh, she puts food, I eat it all, I'm happy, she's happy. But then I want to see her happy still, and it's like I'm still eating 50 years later, and it's not serving me anymore. I mean, she's not here anymore, but
Of those programs from childhood remain with us even 40, 50 years after those people are long gone. But this is still running and running and running in our mind.
exactly. And another thing that I noticed is that I used to always have the opportunity to lick the blender beater. Like she'd make the cream, and guess who gets to lick the chocolate, the cream, the so even now I'm like, why am I licking all the sauce off the of the pot, even though it's spaghetti? It's like, why do I have to like make sure I clean it with my tongue? I don't need to. But I
Yeah.
think that the only way you could change something is by being cognitive of it. And I've noticed that different patterns coming up over the last couple of weeks.
Mhm.
So I will be changing those.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, it was really a great pleasure to work with you. And yes, you're right. It's gaining awareness of how what we eat, how it's all tied to our emotional life, especially to all those habits, customs from back home, from when we were little. And food was very often used as a prize or reward for good behavior, or withdrawal of food for misbehavior. So it got so tied up with our emotions, and that's why diets simply do not work, because they don't address those underlying programs that we have.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I will never have to deprive myself of anything when I'm in control. Being in control says I could choose to eat this, or I could choose to put it away. I could choose to eat some or none at all. But that whole idea, I mean, I've been dieting since I was 20, and now that I'm 22 or so, I find that it's been a long time that I've gone up and down, and the minute you deprive your body of anything that feels good, anybody could do it for a little while, but in that moment of weakness, you go to a funeral, you're upset, you're emotional, you whatever it is, and all of a sudden it's like, who's my best friend? And it happens to be the cheesecake or the chocolate chip cookies or
Yes,
licorice.
yes, and it's easily available, and it feels amazing when we put it in our mouth. Not so amazing afterwards. So um, the solution is to actually become best friends with ourselves, with our own heart, and really start respecting that one and only life that we have, and that brief stay on that planet, and transfer that emotional connection from 40 years ago to right now, right into our hearts.
And you know what? I really enjoyed the fact that we did all this on Zoom. You know,
Mhm.
when you look at a client, you say the client's here for an hour. When I look at going to see someone at their office, it's traveling time, waiting 15 minutes beforehand in the waiting room, driving back home, and so on. And just like that 1 hour was perfect. Like I allocated an hour, and I saved myself 2 additional hours from the traveling. So I don't have to get on a plane or in a car or anywhere to come and see you. And
Yes,
it was seamless. It was really good.
I enjoyed it too. It's really comfortable to be in the safety of your own home. And because during the hypnosis, you go inside into the sanctuary of your own body. So, what is a more safe place than being at home where you are?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And the other thing I wanted to say also is the emotion of happiness, of joy, of fulfillment. It goes into all kinds of areas of your life. So I've had really amazing week, or 2 weeks since I've talked to you. But it's when you're feeling better. It seems like everything in your life goes better. So everything, like before we started talking, I was telling you that my business is going really well. I'm calm. I wake up when I wake up. I do what I have to do, and then things just fall into place because I no longer have the stress. I'm not saying, "Oh my God, what am I going to do? I have to eat. I don't have to eat. I have to stop for 5 coffees," and it's good.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alan. And I wish you a really, really wonderful relationship with yourself, with your heart, with your life, and with respect, with self compassion and self love. And just carry on.
Thank you, and thank you for everything you've done for me.
Thank you.